Do you believe that you have the ability to read people's minds? Hello, my name is Stephanie. I'm a therapist on Long Island, New York that specializes in the treatment of eating disorders and body image issues. If you like this video at the end or found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing if you're interested in learning about eating disorders, body image issues, general mental health and well-being, and therapeutic tools. You may be a little confused by my small intro about mind reading. Do you know what that is? So mind reading is this cognitive tendency that we have, that we attribute what we believe people are thinking about us to what they're actually thinking. So when we believe that they're thinking something about us, that becomes the truth. Now, what the hell does that mean? Has someone ever given you maybe a dirty look, or maybe they said something to you that wasn't very nice, or maybe they just were a little rude and they just didn't even really acknowledge you, and then all of a sudden you decided that it was because they thought you were ugly, or because they don't like you, or because you're a horrible person? We just all of a sudden form this narrative in our mind. So let me backtrack so that I can explain this concept further. If you don't realize already that we narrate our lives, we tell ourselves stories, and you're probably like, what are you talking about? If you just acknowledge and observe your thoughts for a day, if you could really just look at it, you will realize that you narrate your life through stories. And this is something that we have to do because it's the way that our brain collapses information. It's the way that we're able to hold on to information, process our world. So with that said, it's actually a pretty positive thing that we're able to narrate our lives, collect all this information, process it, and live our lives. However, when it comes to mind reading, this is where the narration of our lives gets to a point that it could be detrimental. Now, let me give you an example so that you actually can follow me with what I'm talking about, because I know I'm kind of all over the place, or it sounds it at least. So let's say you went on a date or maybe a few dates with a person and you kind of really liked them, or you were hoping that they liked you, and they kind of seemed that they were liking you, or maybe they didn't, or whatever. Or maybe, you were online dating and they never responded back to you, whatever. So what you might perceive that as, oh my gosh, they know I'm ugly, they think I'm fat, they think I'm boring, they really just don't like me because I'm not good enough, there's plenty of other people who are better than me, and all of these things. Okay, so how do you come to that conclusion? And the reason why you came to that conclusion is because more than anything, more than the chances of that being the actual thought process of the person that is not responding to you or not trying to go on any further dates with you, it's a reflection of what your beliefs are about yourself. So when we narrate our lives and tell ourselves the stories of our lives, when there are missing pieces, we have to fill in those missing pieces. That's what gives us closure. That's what's able to process that information. But the thing is that we look to fill those informations with things that already support our own belief system, because it's easier to find evidence to support our current belief structure than to find evidence to the contrary and change our entire belief system. Let's get back to that example. You may be thinking that if you ever have had this type of experience and this is what's happening, that it's definitely, there's no other possible logical scenario as to why they're no longer trying to go on any further dates with you or not responding to you on whatever dating site you're on. Now, why could that possibly be? That doesn't maybe fit your current belief system. One is perhaps they're in love with an ex that came back to the picture and has nothing to do with you, but they can't let go of that person. Two, it could be because they're just not ready for a relationship, or maybe they really don't want a relationship and you do want a relationship, and they don't want to put you through that because they're not at the point in their lives that they're ready for that. Three, perhaps there's a lot more going on in their lives. Maybe they're sick. Maybe they have a parent that's sick. Maybe there's just something going on that you're not aware of that has absolutely nothing to do with you, but just does not make it possible for them to have a relationship or go further on with you. Again, it has nothing to do with you. The possible reasons can go on, and I can bet you that if you give me a situation, I can find a lot of different scenarios that may be possible rather than just the one that supports your belief system. I must say I'm pretty good at that. Maybe you're right. Maybe they aren't attracted to you. Maybe they don't really believe that you're funny, or maybe that's because you have a different sense of humor than they do, because we all do. Some people find dad jokes absolutely hilarious, and some people find people at comedy clubs absolutely hilarious, and other people don't get it or don't care to get it. It's just we all have different tastes, and that doesn't mean that that's, one's better or worse than the other. It just means that we're all different. We all have different likes and dislikes. Now, we don't know what happened. If you don't have the closure, you're not sure, and you're left wondering if it was something that you did, if it's something about you, or if it's something to do with them, or something about their lives. But the thing is that more than likely, you're not going to find out. You are not going to know, but you need to be able to challenge your own belief system. So to summarize, to kind of put a little bit of a cap into everything that I just talked about, because I know it could be really kind of confusing without particular situations. Our brains like to process information. We tell stories. We're more able to remember and process stories than a bunch of just jumbled up pieces of information that make no sense without a story putting them together. So because of that, and when we have missing pieces and missing information, we're going to put in what we believe fits best into that missing piece section. And more often than not, that's going to be what currently falls within your belief structure and supports your belief structure. We look for evidence that supports what we already believe. We don't typically look for evidence that challenges our belief system, and that's where we need to change. That's what we need to start looking at. And through the help of therapy, or even if you are not in therapy, but just really recognizing that this is something that we do, that's something that's just very natural, but we need to challenge that. And you need to recognize when you are mind reading, because mind reading, you're not going to get anywhere with that, because at the end of the day, you will not know what that person is thinking. A mind reading is just a guess that is most fitting within your belief system. So, with that said, if you have any questions or didn't make much sense or you want some clarification, absolutely leave a comment down below. I will be more than happy to do so. Leave a comment if you've ever mind read before, and be honest with yourself. And if you really want to try to stump me with the situation, if I can look for other things that may not be in your support system or your belief system and challenges that, go for it, because I am sure that I can find other alternatives to whatever the situation is that you are filling in the pieces for. Please like this video by giving it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you're interested in learning any more about all this type of information. I also offer a blog, and I will leave that link in the description below. I hope to see you in my next video, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Bye.